Thank you, bro. Appreciate you too.
So, where's your headspace at right now? Like, what's on your mind?
Man, I'm excited right now. I'm actually thinking about my next body of work already, but I just want to
Really?
keep. Yeah, I just feel like I want to keep my foot on the gas right now. Like now that I got people's eyes, like the few people I do got, just want to make sure I'm always feeding them quality. So yeah.
Well, okay, I was gonna ask this a little later, but I guess I'll ask it now. So this what you just put out is a deluxe version of your EP. What do you think is going to be different about your process when you're putting together your debut album?
Man, I just want to write. Like since I put out this project, a lot of people have been telling me like they still want more music because to a lot of people I'm still a new artist, but right now I do want to just go through life and just get my experience up because it's been a drastic change since I put out this project. Like I'm not going through the same things I went through 2 years ago, so going into my next body of work, I just want to be able to speak on something that's really meaningful that can change people's perspective. And with that, I need to go through things myself.
Wow, you were just lining up questions that I was going to ask you later, so I'll just get into that now too. What are the biggest events in your life that have influenced your music so far?
Having my son, I would say that influenced my hunger for it. My family, I feel like that's my family really influenced my integrity I have. Like I don't just say stuff just to sound cool. Like I say stuff to have people look at things differently or have an open mind to it or learn something, or even just connect or feel a feeling that I feel. And yeah, I feel like the biggest transition though was having my son for sure.
And and you know what? Everything feels intentional with you. That's the thing about your music that really sticks out to me whenever I hear a bar or a verse or the way you produce a certain track and even your album covers. It just feels very like there's nothing that wasn't thought about. Like it was all very thought out and purposeful.
Yeah, that's true. And that's what I want to continue to do. Just speaking on that.
Uh, and what so speaking of influences like musically, who are your biggest influencers?
Um, it's a big catalog. I mean, sonically, I would say like the Erica Badu's, Nate Dogg's, but even beyond that, like Pharrell, Kanye West, artists artists that are also producers. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what I gravitate to.
Yeah, and that was something honestly I didn't know until I was preparing for this and I was looking up because I look up like credits for everything and I saw that you produced your own music and it kind of made sense because it just feels so personal. It kind of has that feeling like you made it in a room by yourself, which is funny because it's like kind of party music. That doesn't really happen a lot where those two worlds mix.
Yeah, and I feel like that's important too. Like it took me time to find my pocket. You know what I'm saying? And that was intentional as well to make it feel like you can dance to it, but you still feel emotion from it as well. So it's like it can blend in both worlds.
Yeah, and your writing is so like personal and introspective, yet your music makes me constantly want to dance, like you said. How do you maintain that balance when you're making music?
I think just being honest, but at the same time, like not being so down about it. Like just because you're honest, you can still have a bright perspective on it. And that's pretty much where my purity comes from. Like as far as energy I put into it, like I don't try to be so dark, but at the same time, if you feel a dark emotion from it, that's what you feel. But as far as tempo, I think that's what carries me to still have that bounce to it, like that West Coast bounce.
Yeah, because when I was hearing you, I know it sounds weird, but I was thinking of like doggy style almost. I was like thinking of like the old OG West Coast, like Warren G, Nate Dogg, like all them dudes. I wasn't thinking about like new West Coast. 'Cause that's something like a little different. Honestly, when I heard you, it was like a throwback. It was like because the doggy style was one of the first albums I ever listened to. So like
So
that, it kind of gave me that feeling.
yeah, that feeling, and then I just look at it like gangster. You get that gangster bop, but it's still progressive chords at the same time. So it just feels theatrical too, like sophisticated gangster music.
Yeah, exactly, man. Like it's like I'm kind of in my own world when I'm listening to it, but I'm still focused on what you're saying. Because a lot of people's music who make that type of music that you dance to, that you go out to, that you party to, stuff like that. Sometimes people kind of fade off and they're kind of just focused on the beat or the rhythm or the melody. But with you,
Yeah,
it's kind of all coming together, and people are still really feeling the lyrics.
absolutely. I try to blend both worlds as much as possible with the lyrics and the beat. one can't be better than the other. They both got a mesh.
Exactly. And a lot of your songs really get to the point. That's something when I was listening to your music. It was like you don't play around. You don't like do like the minute intro, the voicemail intro. You get right to the point. And
Yeah,
no song on your deluxe album was longer than 3 minutes.
yeah.
What makes your pen so concise?
I mean, exactly what you said. I like to get straight to the point. I mean, even all around, like my music is clear. My production is clarity. You know, my lyrics is clarity. You know what I'm talking about. You get the message directly. Um, I leave that to the videos. Like I like to throw subliminals in the videos. But as far as the music, I want them to feel exactly what I was feeling right away. I don't want them to have to guess like, what does that mean? Or nah, I want you to feel it.
Yeah, and I could tell like listening to like Pressure. I could tell like the intro where you're talking about like, oh, I'm the new Nate Dogg. I got the West Coast on my backbone. Like you could feel exactly what you're talking about and like Hurt stuff like
Yeah,
that. Yeah, you could like really. It's like you put everything out there.
exactly. Nah, that's intentional for sure.
And it's cool, you know, like it is kind of different because I'm on the Northeast, so that type of music isn't exactly natural around here. Like everybody just kind of bops their heads to like Cameron and shit like that. So it takes a second, but I really like it. I was happy to be raised on West Coast music too, so it's cool. Um, what has been the most surprising part of your career in the last 6 months?
Just the reaction I've been getting from, of course, the fans first and foremost, but even on top of that, like certain artists that I looked up to growing up. You know, I got reached out by a few artists that I respect. The Ty Dolla Sign, E40. I linked up with J.Cole, had a dope conversation with bro. So it's just been nothing but motivation at this point, like just reassurance that I'm on the right path.
If you don't mind me asking, what do you and Cole talk about? Because it seems like that's kind of a thing he does. He'll like take newer artists and take them under their wing. And like 8 different artists have said they've had really long conversations with Cole. And obviously, you can't go into detail, but like, could you give me like a little bit of what that conversation went like?
Yeah, he was just basically he reached out just as a fan of the music first and foremost, but he was just kind of talking to me like, bro, do you know what's about to happen for you? Like, do you know who you are? And I'm just like, nah, like I'm just taking it day by day. But he was just telling me to prepare, you know, because it's a lot that's coming my way for sure.
So, do you know where you're at? Do you know how big you're going to be? I'm not. I'm saying that as an interviewer and a fan. Like, has it like hit yet?
Um, I, that's a dope question. I don't really look at it like that though. Like I feel like I am who I am already. Like, of course, I want to grow and be the best man I could be aside from music. But nah, I don't really focus on the highs or the lows too much. I just try to keep my head down, do what I've been doing, and stay connected to my roots.
Does it feel weird that all this is happening while people are social distancing? Does that feel kind of odd?
Absolutely, it's like a gift and a curse because it's like I'm going up, but at the same time, I feel like I wanna be outside and do what I dreamed of doing, like performing, going on tour. I've yet to go on tour. I've yet to you know, headline a show in my own city. So it got its ups and downs for sure.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking about was performing because it's like you haven't been able to see the real world effect of your music yet. Like everybody's talking about tweeting about dancing to your music and doing all that, and it's cool that music, like dancing and music, is back together with you. Like not a lot of
Right.
people are like that, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
but you can't like tour anything like that. Like, how does it feel that you've accomplished so much, but you can't see the full blown effect yet?
Like I said, it got its ups and downs. I feel like the pandemic kind of helped me though because it gave people a chance to actually listen to the lyrics, you know, instead of just like play it in the background. Like people can actually sit and digest what I'm talking about and actually feel it. And, you know, I feel like that's dope.
Yeah, no, it's a that was one of the cooler things about what, you know, not having all these clubs open and everything is that people got a chance to be like, okay, do I like this record because I like the record because I do, or do I like it because my girl's turned up in the back? Like, you know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Like, do my ears like it or does the henny like it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a huge difference. So that was one of the cooler things about how music has shaped up in 2020. It's honestly been a fantastic year for music. We've gotten so much good stuff.
That's a fact, bro. I love everything that's been coming out. I feel like it definitely was a great year musically.
And speaking of great year musically, you and Mozzie had this record, "Streets Ain't Safe." It was fantastic. How did that come together? How did y'all link up?
With Mazza, we had a song that we put out, I want to say earlier this year or late last year called um damn, I forgot. We got like 5 records now. But the first one we put out, which went crazy, it's like at 15 million on YouTube. So you know, I linked up with Mozzie again. We just locked in the studio because the first one we did, it was just I sent the hook. But I wanted to, you know, get in the session with him, and that's pretty much how She's Ain't Safe came about. Us finally locking in the studio together.
Yeah, because that record's magnetic. It really did. I know you're probably so tired about hearing the Nate Dogg thing, but it just really reminded me of like you being the Nate Dogg of our time. Like hearing you guys together, I could like hear what people are trying to say.
Nah, yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, you know, Mozzie from the trenches, so I feel like it's good that I can blend it in all kind of worlds, from relationships to the streets to, you know, just talking shit in general. Like I feel like I can blend in all worlds.
So do you said on pressure? We talked about this. He the new Nate Dogg. He put the West of he the West backbone. Do you see yourself as already becoming the go-to hook man for the West Coast?
Not already. I feel like a lot of people been tapping in, but I'm kind of picky on who I want to work with. But at the same time, like when I was speaking in that verse, I was speaking from other people's perspective.
Yeah, yeah, like the pressure that you're getting from other people.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's why the song's called Pressure.
exactly, you're right on point. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I see why people can connect me to that, you know. But I'm blessed at the end of the day, and I want to create something new. I want to create my own legacy, and I'm ready for all type of pressure.
In the next steps of your career, do you want to branch out to the East Coast and the South more, or do you want to stay working with West Coast artists predominantly?
1,000%. That's what I'm on right now, trying to connect with the other side. I feel like to a certain extent, LA know who I am. Um, it's always more growing to do, but I definitely want to touch down New York, Atlanta, you know, and just connect with a different side.
Is there anyone you'd specifically want to work with that you think your sound would work really well with?
Nobody specifically that I could think of off the top of my head.
Do you want to collaborate more? Because on the original version of the album, of the EP, sorry, there are no collaborations. It's pretty much just you. There's a few production credits that go other places. But do you, on your future projects, are you going to want to collaborate more?
Yeah, I mean, I wanna have collaborations on my next project for sure, but I'm not really like banking on that. Like I'm so used to making music in my own time and my because I record at home that I don't even be thinking of outsourcing. I'm so used to doing everything myself. But I go off natural energy, natural vibes. If the vibe right, if I rock with you as an artist, if you stand on integrity, then I'm with you.
Yeah, the home recording thing, a lot of artists have said really improved their process. Like I'm thinking about like Billie Eilish, Nipsey. I know it's kind of like a funny duo, but they talked a lot about like home studio recording and the ability to create something in a place where you live, and that the product's a little more natural.
Yeah, that's the vibe. You know, you can be 100% yourself. You ain't got to worry about time, and you can just vibe out.
And your music feels like almost too mature for the fact that you're only releasing your first EP. Do you think that comes from your constant work ethic or your natural talent?
I think that's just how I approach the music. Like when I put together a body of work, I want it to be cohesive, which I feel like a lot of people don't still do to this day. But I'm a big fan of like old albums, so I like storylines, and I feel like the storylines and the cohesiveness of a project is what people consider sophisticated music. I would say, you know, but and just the topics that I talk about, like you don't really hear men talking about relationships in a vulnerable way. So I feel like that's a big highlight on who Blast is.
Yeah, especially in the music that you're making. It is kind of like an interesting blend of worlds. Like you again, you have this like bouncy rhythm to you, this classic West Coast rhythm, but you're kind of bringing the new R&B with it, the new soul with it. Kind of like a nice mesh.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Um, what do you see in the West Coast music scene right now, and what do you bring to it?
I feel like I bring soul. I feel like I bring quality. Um, Conceptually, I feel like even down to the videos, like the storylines in the videos is just it make you feel like you're entering my world. So I just feel like what I'm bringing new is just a new vibe, a new energy that it's like a fresh breath of air. That's what I hear from other people.
Yeah, and I really liked. I know this is really like a tiny detail, but I like the buttons at the beginning of the album with the recorder, like how
Oh
you
yeah,
used to
yeah,
it
yeah,
used to
yeah.
pop out CD. You know, it kind of reminded me of Channel Orange. Uh,
Facts. Yeah,
because Frank Ocean did the same thing with the start and end on Channel
yeah.
Orange. It really reminded me of that. I love when artists make things like cinematic, where I can like see what they're trying to say and do.
Right. Exactly. You hit it right on the nail. I feel like aside from the sound, I try to make you feel like you actually can visualize when you hear it. Like, okay, he must be at the store right now. Just speaking, but he must be at the store right now with the sound effects and stuff like that.
Yeah, like you want to make it feel like a video almost.
Exactly.
And that's a cool thing. And I hope that you know I think that's coming more on the forefront. I think the era of people just and obviously with 2020 things have gotten screwed up, but I think that the era of people just throwing a bunch of songs together in hopes that it lands, I think that's coming to an end. I think that the
Yeah.
concept album's kind of coming back. The longer form album's kind of coming back. The fully fleshed out video project press release like
Yeah.
I think it's all coming together.
Nah, that's a fact. Especially with the times we living in right now, people want to actually feel something, So
Yeah, especially and like we just don't have the club, like because you can fake be hot, you can be fake hot, you could like getting a bunch of drunk people to cheer for you really isn't the biggest conquest on planet Earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, but having people want to buy your music, having people want to buy your vinyl. I really liked your vinyl. I kind of missed out on the sale. Hopefully you put it back up.
yeah,
Um, but like having people support you and actually listen to your music, that's a task.
yeah, man. I feel like I just want to connect with the people who support me, and that's what means the most. That's why we do so much like activations and like vinyl stuff. Like we want them to actually receive something with the music, not just get a vibe from the music, but actually feel like you got a piece to blast as well.
Exactly, and I love how new artists are doing that. Like Griselda really does that well as well. Like a lot of different people, uh,
Facts.
um, a lot of different people are trying that route of like, okay, I can't be with you physically. I'm gonna give you physicals, uh,
Exactly.
and I really fuck with it. Actually, I could show you my record collection.
Uh-oh. Come on, you tapped in.
Yeah,
I
man.
need to get like you.
Yeah, man. I really collect. Like I got a couple of copies of Doggy Style. I got all that.
Sick.
Um, is there a different side of yourself that you want to show in the next chapter of your career?
Hmm. I just want to really just be who I am 100%, like step into my confidence. For like the No Love Lost project, it was kind of a question mark for me. I didn't really know how people was gonna react to the music, but seeing the reaction just let me know how deep I can go with it or how out the box I can be with myself. So I just want to step into that with confidence next time.
Cool. And you just released the deluxe version of the album, and you had a record on there with Ty Dolla $ign and Tyga. What was the process of putting that together like?
Man, so that came about after I put out the project when people was just tapping in. And when Tyga tapped in, I was like, bro, I got this record for you. I think it'll be crazy. Because my biggest thing was just like, all right, how can I work with the top dogs at LA so I can showcase that I can hang with the big dogs as well. And as far as Ty, that was a natural relationship. I've been with Ty a minute ago. I sent the record to him and he was automatically with it. And that's how it came about.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a lost thing too, is kind of making sure that you're good in your own city before you try to spread worldwide. A lot,
1,000%.
a lot of people try to rush the process, don't get the footing of having their own fan base from their city, and
Yeah.
then like that's the process of longevity is making sure that you're hot in your own city, you're good in your own city, you can sell out your own city, and then worry about like Atlanta or New York.
Yeah, I feel like you got to build that foundation to fall on. And I feel like if you got a city behind your back, especially a big city like LA, you're going to win everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And LA's just it's just a whole different world. They're
Mm,
like the way that things like the artists that pop over there, like sometimes it takes me months to reach over here.
yeah.
Like it's crazy. It's a crazy world over there. Your content is pretty consistent. It's like as we talked about this whole conversation. Do you think you'll take a while putting together your next project?
Low key, not really. It's going to be well thought out for sure, but I wouldn't say it'll take a long time. I mean, with the help of my team, we get shit done fast as far as ideas. Once we come up with an idea, we hop on it fast. So I feel like the main part is just putting together the music and then executing everything outside. like the videos, the rollout, the activations. I don't really feel like it's too much pressure on me.
Well, yeah, I didn't know because sometimes when artists who kind of are in the bag that you're in, they'll take a minute with their next release, or they'll kind of disappear for a while, or like
Yeah.
so you don't plan to do that.
Nah, I want all the smoke right now. So I'm on the front line with this music stuff for sure.
Um, you said so you produce your own music, you write all your own music, you have a hand in all your videos. What do you think that aspect of your process brings to your sound?
I think it's just, it's just that much hands-on creativity. Like people can tell it's coming from an authentic place because I have a vision that I want to protect, and it's my vision at the end of the day, and I feel like that's what people can tell. They can tell it's tailor made by Blxst, and everything is intentional, like we said before, and everything is cohesive.
And what's been the most rewarding and most frustrating part of your like success so far?
I would say not being able to do regular things in my city, like go to the store.
Everybody
That's
says that. Everybody says that. I don't know what it is about going to Whole Foods, but like every single person who talks to me, and I'm like, they're like, man, I just wish I could go to Whole Foods. I'm like, bro,
oh,
it's not that great. It's not that great. I promise they overcharge me on soap. It's not really.
but it's like the simple things that we take for granted. You wish you could just, when you bored, you just want to go to Target and just look at shit. You
And
can't do it no more.
without
Exactly.
people taking pictures of you.
Yeah, or it's not even like necessarily like as if I'm the most famous person. Just the paranoia of who knows you or who do you think know you, or it's just
Oh, yeah, I would freak out. Even going to Target in my hometown, I'm like, oh my god, what if I run into someone who knows what I looked like in middle school? Sounds that would be fucking terrifying. Recently Russell Westbrook was seen bumping wrong or right. How did it feel when you saw that?
man, that was big. Russell Westbrook is a LA native, so he been tapped in though as far as with the homie Bino as well. And that was big. I rock with that's one of my top NBA players, so that's crazy.
Yeah, it was cool because like it's hard to judge how big someone is in quarantine. I didn't know. Like I play your music on my radio show. I like talk about you. So but I don't leave my house. I don't leave my damn house because we're in a pandemic. So I have no idea how other people feel. When I saw Russell Westbrook, I'm like, oh, it's gone.
It's
It's
crazy. Yeah, it be shocking me too. I don't really be knowing who be tapped in, and as far like to even post it, it's one thing to listen to it in your own time, but to post it, it shows that
and
you
know the
really
lyrics.
exactly.
Yeah, he wasn't doing like the whole mumbling thing. Like
Right, right,
he was
right. He
on beat.
vibing out.
Yeah. And my last question for you: what legacy do you hope to leave with your career?
Man, I just want to be able to leave a legacy of quality music, a legacy of putting other people on, making the homies rich as well, not just myself, and just to be able to have longevity for sure.
Well, thanks, man, for tapping in. I appreciate you.